Alright, guys, so the Falcons season has been ended for a few days now, and I think it's time we talk about it, alright? The 2024-25 Falcons. And I don't know. The loss to start the season versus Pittsburgh it made people think it was going to be almost the same season we usually have, and then we go on the road and beat the Eagles, which was huge. And then we only lose to Kansas City by like a 3 points or something like that. Then the run where we beat the Saints, Bucks, and Panthers. We beat the Saints on the last second field goal. We beat the Buccaneers in overtime, and we absolutely destroy the Panthers. And then we did lose to the Seahawks, but then we would go on to beat the Bucks and Cowboys, and then after that, the season just completely fell apart. You lost to the Saints, we lost to the Broncos, we lost to the Chargers, we lost to the Vikings, we beat the Raiders and Giants, and then we lost to the Commanders and Panthers. And it's once again a year without playoffs, and I know we're sick of that. To address the elephant in the room, number one, is this decision to sign Kirk, and I like Kirk Cousins, I really do. The decision to sign Kirk Cousins will go down as one of the worst in football history, really, in any sports history, if we're being all honest. I mean, you paid all these millions of dollars for a guy who only played we started Ritter after the Raiders game. So you paid for a guy who didn't even do anything. I don't know what to say about that. That was the Falcons general manager, and something happened, and we messed up with that. And now now you have to trade them. You can't release them because you owe them all that money. So we really messed that up. But I'm not talking about firing Raheem Morris now, because you can't fire a coach after 1 year. Some teams have done that. The Patriots did that. The Titans fired their general manager. There's stuff going on. He wasn't in the first year, but I just believe you can't fire a coach in their first year. So this is not the right to Raheem Morris, but changes have to be made. I do like. Hold on 1 second. I apologize about that. What I was saying is, I do like Rich McKay. I do like Terry Fontenot. But it is times they need to be. I like them, and I don't mean this in no horrible way. They need to be sent packing, and we need to start fresh, because we have not made the playoffs since 2017. I believe it's 7 years without playoffs. Let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yes, 7 years without playoffs. And we are frustrated. We are very frustrated. Some of them are sick and tired of it, and they've quit watching the team. I'll never do that. I'll always be an Atlanta Falcons fan. This is my favorite football team. But something needs to be done. I hate it for our players, and I hate it for our coaches, because they're being set up by horrible general managing by Terry Fontenot and then horrible business by Rich McKay. Something needs to be done. And Arthur Blank does not need to sell the team. I like Mr. Blank. Mr. Blank's a great man. So something needs to be done. I'm being as calm and as nice as I can say it. We have not made the playoffs now for 7 years. I'm sick of it. I remember falling to my knees, on my hands and knees, in utter disbelief when that ball deflected off of a Eagle player into the back of the end zone against Philadelphia in 2017. That's the last playoff memory I have with the Falcons in the playoffs. I remember staying up past midnight listening to the Rams game that year. I remember Matt Ryan slipping he slipped while throwing a football, and Julio Jones caught it into the end zone. I mean, something has to change. I want the playoffs back in Atlanta, and everybody else does too. So, number one, it's going to start in May or April, whenever the draft is. There's a bunch of there's quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. Everybody is good in the draft, but we're going to need defense, pass rush. So a player like, Mykel Williams for Georgia. Now, I'm just giving examples here. I can't really name any other ones. But then you're going to have to address offensive line, because we cannot have Michael Penix scrambling because he don't have an offensive line. But we also can't have an opposing quarterback scrambling on us because we don't have a defense. So that's where it starts. We're going to need new offensive line and pass rush. We have receivers. We have our quarterback now with Michael Penix, at least in my opinion. We have running backs, Tyler Algier and Bijan Robertson. That could be the next Michael Turner, William Moore. I mean, two-headed beast is like Todd Gurley and Keith Marshall. A two-headed beast. We cannot do this again. I don't care what y'all say. We started 6-3. The Falcons, in my opinion, when we were 6-3, I thought we were one of the best teams in the NFL and headed to the playoffs. And then the floodgates opened, and we only won 2 or 3 games after that. It is completely unacceptable that we have not made the playoffs in 7 years. Now, I know there are teams with worse streaks. I know there are teams that have suffered through more. Or team fan bases who have suffered more. Don't get me wrong. But it is unacceptable to not make the playoffs for 7 years with the talent we have on this roster, and it starts up top. The fact that it's Thursday, January 9th, the fact we have not fired anybody is shocking. So, I'm just going to end it with that. Thanks to all the players and coaches this year. 2024-25 was a very entertaining season for Atlanta. I mean, it's going to be moments I'll never forget. I'll never forget, going out to the car on Sirius XM, listening to the final seconds. I missed the field goal, but I was able to listen to. I literally walked into the car and turned the radio on right after he hit the field goal, and then we were in another house. Our power was out the whole week. Tampa Bay game comes along. We watched the game. We watched that game at somebody else's house with no power at ours. I mean, you never forget stuff like that. I'll never forget the last 2 minutes of the Philadelphia game. I mean, it's stuff like that. I'll never forget some of these games that happened this year, but and for positive reasons too, for positive and negative reasons. I mean, it was for the first 9 or 10 weeks, it was an enjoyable year. So yeah, shout out to players and coaches. Shout out Wes, Dave, Bo, and the gang on 92.9 The Game. 92.9 The Game brought wonderful coverage to the Falcons this year, and I'm sure they will next year too. But at the end of the day, I'm very frustrated. A lot of Falcon Nation is very frustrated. It's been 7 years without the playoffs, and something has to change. So I don't know what that's going to be, but our schedule came out next year, and if it's going to be very difficult to make the playoffs. I think we can, but Suffolk has to give. So let's go Falcons, and I'll have more videos on off season, but let's go Falcons and go Dirty Birds.